So today is the start of Nigel going back into commission. If you don't know who Nigel is, it's that rather colourful car there. Now, unlike every other time this car has gone for its MOT, I've got to do some preparation. Every other time I've taken it in and it's just passed, except the last time where neglected a tyre. This time is a very different matter indeed, because it needs its exhaust sorting out, which is great because I have one of those. It needs a shock absorber sorting out, which I haven't got. It needs a track rod end, which I haven't got new. And it needs the rather colossal oil leak dealing with. This rather oily bottom of the engine issue has been going on for a little while, but recently it compounded itself to something much worse, and that is the cam seals basically not really sealing anything. So everywhere this car stops, it leaves a nice oily puddle. Yeah, not good. The fact is that it's leaking so much oil, it can't really be used. Then we have another issue with the boot loom, which I'm going to replace because the one that's in there has cracks and splits everywhere. And because of that, the high level brake light isn't working, and neither is one of the rear lamps as well now. And the number plate lights, I don't think that's working either. It wasn't that long ago when this car was actually in use. I mean, look, it's when I fitted this plum coloured carpet. It's when I did this rather exciting headline. And don't really know what's happened there, but that's an awful lot of mould just appeared on that seat and down on the carpet there, so something must have got spilt, and it wasn't me. I don't spill stuff in the car. Floor of the bottom lockup, we have quite a decent sized oil spill. Looks almost like someone's been murdered down here, but they haven't, at least not recently anyway. The car is really very well steamed up indeed, and oh, that's on the outside. It's steamed up on the inside and the outside, and I don't really want to leave the engine running particularly because of how quickly it's going to just, well, chuck its oil out. Off. So here it is, ready to do some work. Timed up, lamp on. I have to take the cam belt off. I have to take the tensioner. I have to undo the tensioner. I have to take the cam wheels off. I have to take the rocker cover off. What else do I have to do? Not get too frustrated with it, I suppose. With this amount of work, of course, you may as well actually replace the cam belt. Go much further, you might as well do the head gasket as well. Just yesterday, I was routing through Bill, the 418 Tourer, my daily car, for something completely unrelated to this. And I found in there an 8mm socket. Little did I know that I should have taken that out today, because rather than the 10mm, it's the 8mm socket for me that is the rather fabled item. And I've been looking and I can't find one. Yeah, there's two of them I think in that car. 2 1/4-inch sockets, and here none. Until I managed to find a 3/4-inch socket, which is kind of overdoing it a bit for this job. Wouldn't you agree? Not careful, could end up snapping things off with something like that. Anyway, with a bit of care and consideration and a pink sky behind me, I'm sure I'll manage. Exciting times at P&HQ. Now with this cover off, we can clearly see there's been quite a bit of oil spillage. And now, of course, I've remembered that the cam carrier itself needs to be re-glued back down with special sticky stuff. Not like the rocker cover, which can be just replaced if it needs. There's the reminder. So heading into town, or just on the outskirts of town, with my fish food. And here isn't fish food. To see if I can get myself a tub of Durco. Not really Durco, no, not a tub, a tube of Durco, because I can't. I've started the job off. I can't not finish it today because that car is now immobile. Unless I was to pull it. I haven't got any. That means I've got to try and find somewhere else. Obviously. And there we have it. Good. Silicon sealant, or pate, or pasta. Pate, a joint silicone. Good. The job is still on. I was going to say back on then, but it's not back on, it's still on. Because it wouldn't have been an option to leave it as it is, in bits, with oily stuff everywhere, and potential for losing those little bolts. I wonder what the average number of dents your typical Amazon Prime bag actually has. So it seems that removing all of the old gunk is actually the most time-consuming part of this. Can't leave bits of silicon deposits on the cam carrier where it's getting into the oilways. Yeah, if it gets into the oilways it will block them, and I don't want that to happen. I want to give this its best chance. After a lot of faffing about, that's clean. That's clean, and that's clean. So it's time to stick the bits back together. Or at least it will be when I've found the new spready stuff that I've just bought. Ah, it's there. Cam cover reassembled. Time to do the rest of the fun stuff now. Do look like I'm enjoying myself, do I? Well, I sort of am. And you know what? Maybe it's just the moving around. I've not been doing anything too vigorous, but it feels quite spring-like suddenly. Amazing, eh? It goes from being horrible winter to spring-like in just a few days. I was going to see if I could do this and get the cam belt back on without undoing all the engine mounts and lifting it up, but it's just a bit too awkward. So I'm going about doing that now. And now I've remembered the last time these engine mounts, I did them all up a bit too tight because I kept hearing a knocking from the front, and I thought it was one of those, but it wasn't. And now they're struggling to come undone. I am getting there. I've been taking my time with this, to be honest. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to rush it because I'll get things wrong. Chances are I'll get something wrong without rushing it. So if I rush it, then I'll definitely get something wrong. Anyway, as long as I can get it all back together and started before I go home tonight, I'll be quite happy. So the tensioner indicator, that thing just there, should be in the middle of that. And if it's not, then it's not quite tensioned right. But at least the belt went on easily enough. Yep, next job, manually turn over the engine just to make sure the bottom hasn't moved. Right, that's all the way around twice, so that's fine. That means I can sigh a relief and make a cup of tea before I continue. Right, it is the moment of truth, as they say. That didn't sound right. Yeah, that's not right, is it? Strictly speaking then, I haven't actually succeeded, have I? I've somewhat failed ever so slightly, because although I put it all back together, it's not running quite as it should do. The thing is though, I don't see how it could possibly have pulled the tooth out of time just by putting the belt back on. I know they can do, but it's usually kind of half a tooth, but that's actually impossible. You can't have half a tooth, not when it comes to belts. Top, perfectly well lined up. I checked, I double checked, and as you saw, I did the manual rotation 2 cycles just to make absolutely certain that I wasn't about to cock it up. So I haven't actually cocked it up, so it's not broken, but it still needs fixing. Oh, the irony of taking my time, making sure I'm methodical so that I don't do anything wrong and end up with it not working properly. Oh well, I guess I'll have to come back to this tomorrow. Seriously, you're actually parking there? Fucking hell. And then one of the usual oh, there's not even anyone in that.